All right. Well, we're live. We're live. We're live. Happy belated Thanksgiving to everyone. I pray that you had a great Thanksgiving, that you didn't eat too much. I tried to be careful, but I did a lot of sampling. And I got some great leftovers. And so I pray that you all had a great and wonderful Thanksgiving, that you spent time with family. And so we had a great time over here. Had family from um, different parts of the country or the states to come and join us, and we had a great time. And so today is not only Black Financial Friday, but today is also considered Black Friday. And so Black Friday is that Friday where, and I'm not sure about this. My co-host is not with us tonight, but I'm not sure about this. But I think Black Friday got their name because it puts all of the companies in the black versus being in the red. I was listening to some financial reports on last week, and they said that they was expecting over $1 trillion to be spent during this holiday season. So that sounds like a Black Friday, doesn't it? $1 trillion, and I think Amazon was expecting like 12 billion just on today. And so that's very interesting when we look at the whole idea of Black Friday. And so we've been talking about having a millionaire or a six-figure mindset. And we've been going over quite a few things. We talked about mentality. We talked about the importance of meditating. We talked about having a mindset. And on last week, we talked about managing. And so we talked about the importance of not overspending during this holiday and getting to a place where we value every dollar, because every dollar adds up. It may not seem like it, but every dollar adds up. And so getting to the place where we value every dollar, whether it's a dollar or $10, it adds up. And so throughout our Financial Fridays, we talked about the importance of giving your money an assignment, and so you have to have set goals. On this Sunday, we're going to be talking about um, a roadmap to goals at Jericho 8086 North 76th Street. If you don't have a church home, you definitely wouldn't be disappointed. But having your money have an assignment, having a goals. What is it that you really want? Where do you really want to see yourself in the next 6 months? You hear people talking about where you want to see yourself in the next 5 years. What about in the next 6 months? What about in the next year? We're getting ready to enter into 2025, and a fresh year for a fresh start. And you know, what is it that you want to see differently? I was talking with Apostle Matthew um, Haskell, and he talked about the Lord. 2025 is going to be a year of revival, and so he's actually going to be at our church on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week on his revival tour, and so we're excited about that. But if there's going to be revival in 2025, what is it that you need to revive? Like in your finances, relationships, or whatever. Um, Goals, having goals, because giving your money an assignment that is how you reach your goal. You know, you can't put money aside and then as soon as something go, you are going to let soon as something happens, you're going to reach for that particular money that's on the side. So having your money on assignment. you know so we got a couple of things to share with you. I am told by our producer that my co-host is here, and so we're going to invite him into the set as we continue with this whole idea of six-figure mindset. What's up, brother James?
How you doing, Pastor?
Doing good. We thought that turkey got you.
Oh yeah, the turkey, the turkey got me. The family got me. The lifestyle got me.
I know you said you were having family over and stuff, so you know.
yeah. I got a lot going on.
Okay.
Uh, so my Thanksgiving is like a 3-day event. So we got Wednesday family, we got Thursday, we got family, Friday we got family. So every day is family for
All
Thanksgiving.
right. So you do 3 days for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, Thanksgiving is 3 days. Yeah,
Okay. That makes a lot of sense though, you know.
yeah.
And do you have different family come over each day, or whoever want to come, they can come all 3 days, or they can just come one day, or how do you schedule that?
So so I'm part of many different families because I'm married. So I think we got the extended family on one day, we got the internal family on another day, then we got the other side of, we got two extended family, everybody's extended. So we deal with all families and friends on Wednesdays, and then we got the extended family on Thursday, we got the bigger extended family on Friday, and then we got food to eat on Saturday.
So
It's
so you don't eat all 3 days?
no, I eat. Yeah, I'm eating pasta. I'm eating all 3 days. I'm eating all 3 days, and then Saturday we got just my family. We got our own Thanksgiving thing, just the six of us. So
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to Lady B about that. That sounds like a good idea. Usually when we have Thanksgiving over at our house, our Thanksgiving rotate within our family. So every other year we are in Indiana with Lady B's family,
yeah,
and the other year they're here in Milwaukee, and then in Milwaukee it rotates from house to house. And so this year it was my turn to host. And so I think we had at least 30 people up in here, all around.
yeah, yeah. We got a ton of things happening going on.
Okay. All right.
So,
I,
yeah,
I, I
yeah.
thought I thought he was getting ready to start introducing us to people.
No, no. I got, I got. I'm laughing because I just have a lot of small people who want to say hi to the world.
Okay. All right. Well, let him say hello. It's Thanksgiving.
Okay, here you go. Come here. Okay, this is this is my cousin. Say
Hey,
hi.
how you doing? Now, what's her name?
RJ.
RJ. Happy,
Yeah.
happy Thanksgiving to you, RJ.
Okay. Bye. Woo, this is so much fun.
All right.
Uh,
Well, well, listen, that's what Thanksgiving is all about. It's all about family and enjoying yourself. And so, I thank God for being able to take time out and really focus on the family, because in today's world, the family is being lost or redefined. And so, as a result of that, a lot of the things that we are accustomed to are going by the wayside. And so I was talking about the whole idea of Black Friday. Where did Black Friday get the word Black Friday from? Do you know?
just an accounting principle.
That's what
So,
I thought. So
oh,
being in
okay.
the black means that you're doing good, right?
Yeah. So it's as how do you? It's a way of just expediting all of your old merchandise.
Okay.
So you're expelling all your old merchandise so you can be in the black. Black is just an accounting term.
All right. Accounting term, as in, you got money coming in versus, money going out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was talking about how they said that they was expecting a $1 trillion in sales throughout this holiday season. And it sounded ridiculous that it would be $1 trillion. That's a lot of money.
Now remember, when I talked about last week is this next 6 weeks. So you got the next 6 weeks. That's when everything is going to be happening within the next 6 weeks.
Hmm.
I got, I got,
Oh,
I got,
you
I
got
got all.
another, you got another star over there?
Yeah, I got tons of family doing their thing, which is so much fun.
Okay.
But what I was talking about last week is when you look at the trend of from Thanksgiving all up to New Year's Day, that's that $1 trillion spent,
Okay.
and that's what people, a lot of businesses are banking for, is that they're banking for. You got Black Friday, Cyber Monday, then you got the Christmas week, the
Mhm.
Christmas weeks. So you got like 25 days of Christmas. Then you got the New Year's Day breakdown. So you got all of these things happening, and that's how they make all their merchandise.
Yeah. Yeah. And so when you think about that, you think about on the flip side of that, when we talk about the whole idea of having a six-figure mindset, I was talking about how you have to really be focused when it comes to how you spending money, that every dollar count. And it goes back to what we were talking about as far as having your money have an assignment. And so, it's important that we set goals in our life, and so that we'll know what we're trying to reach, whether it's a financial goal or whatever kind of goal it is, and that you're able to look at that dollar that you're getting ready to spend and decide whether whatever you're getting ready to buy is in line with your goal, or is it something that you're going to buy that's going to end up on the shelf. I bought a lot of stuff that ends up on the shelf, or I end up giving it away or something like that because it just looked like a good idea or whatever. But in the end, being able to value how you make the decision to spend your money during this $1 trillion holiday spending spree that the world is going to be on, or the United States is going to be on. And so, what are your thoughts when it comes to how important that is? I know we talked about it last week as far as not overspending and being able to manage your money and watching where you're spending. But sometimes you can get caught up in the fever of Good Friday. I think I might have went in my lifetime maybe to two Black Friday things. I said Good Friday, didn't I? Maybe two Black Friday sales I think I went to, and I didn't have a good experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's people everywhere, and I ain't, and it's nothing that I want that serious. Back then they used to be up at 12 o'clock at night, waiting on the store to open, and then they just run over each other going in there. And and then the things that I did see, they didn't really seem like real good deals. And so it's almost like if you get caught up in that frenzy, that you end up buying and spending money, you know, because it can be fun or whatever. But then afterwards, it's like having a hangover when you have, other things that come up, and now you looking at that product that you bought, where now you can use that money that you spent for it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
so what's your thoughts on that, managing doing this holiday spending spree?
So when it comes to Black Friday, I think the biggest thing I've ever did with Black Friday is the cyber sale on Monday,
Mhm.
because over time you don't save anything on Black Friday or on Cyber Monday. You're not saving anything. They just tell you, if somebody tell you you're saving 15%, but it's the same price it was before the sales happened, then that means you're not saving anything.
Mhm.
So one thing that I always do, I do price notification. So if something that you want goes into a price, goes underneath the price notification, you'll be notified through an email, and then you just buy it that way.
Okay. And so that's a good way to shop because it's more intentional, right?
Yeah.
Because you purposely uh, thought about what it is that you wanted or whether you needed or wanted, and then you're putting yourself in the best position to get the best price on it. And so versus just randomly going in the store with a bunch of money and just starting to just spend, you're targeting what it is that you want and setting up notifications to be able to get that best deal. That makes sense. I
Yeah.
see Elder Perry's on with us tonight. How you doing, Elder? So that's a good idea, setting up notifications And so for people who may not know how to do that, how do you do that?
So for most of your stores, and I say most, so if you go like to Best Buy, you can set up a notification there for an item that you want. On Amazon, you can do the same thing, but it's more. It's one of those things. If you don't know how to do it, just talk to customer service, or you can Google how to set up a notification. So I was able to purchase two monitors that were high quality monitors made by Sony under $100 because once they hit the threshold, I bought them.
Okay.
However, it wasn't for Cyber Monday though. It wasn't for Cyber Monday. It was like a random day that they dropped below the price, and I just bought them when they dropped below. So that's how you save money because the moment something becomes less desirable, then it
Hmm.
gives you a notification, then you can just buy it that way. And in
Okay.
that way, it removes you from being impulsive. I guess that's the best way to put it. Because if you already know what you need, then you're setting up a notification. So when it
Right.
hits threshold that you're willing to pay, it just lets you know, and then you can purchase it that way.
Okay. All right. Now that's very good. I like that. Because again, it helps you to be more intentional as to what you're purchasing, and then it's helping you to at least make an attempt to get the best price according to those particular companies that you're looking for, whether it's Best Buy, Amazon, or whatever. And so I think that oftentimes what happens during the holiday is, we're going out and we're looking for a deal, not really sure what we're looking for. We're just
Yeah.
looking for deals. And then sometimes we're thinking about certain people, whether it's doing your Christmas shopping, you're thinking about, okay, who I'm going to buy a gift for and what that gift is going to be. And so you're just out and you're scouring and you're looking to find, what's going to be uh, that gift. So you got this shopping list of people that you're shopping for, and in the midst of it, it's like going to the store. You ever went to the store? Say, I'm just gonna run in. I'm gonna run in and get this one thing. I
Yeah.
remember one day I did that probably about 3 weeks ago. I went to the store to get one thing. I said, I'm just gonna go get this one thing and I'm coming out. And I came out and that one thing ended up being 90 something dollars and a whole cart full of things. Now
Oh,
there has been other times when I went in and I end up at the checkout with more than that one thing, and I went and put everything back and came back with that one thing. And so equally, probably if you cut them in thirds, when I go in for one thing, it's almost like a challenge. And so, it's a 1 in 3 chance that I'm going to win. You know what I mean? But
well,
being able to shop, doing your Christmas shopping for your the people that's on your Christmas list, and still, because in situations like that, you really don't maybe not know what you want to get them, so notifications may not work, and then you're going out and you kind of shopping around during the best times to shop, and you're looking for those particular items that catch your eye for a certain individual. So how do you kind of help with your controlled spending when you're shopping that way?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not the best shopper for individuals who I don't already know. So typically, what you're asking for, I'm already eyeballing what you're asking. So if we walk past, if me and you are just kicking it on like in March, and we're kicking it, you're like, hey, you know what? That's a real good Kango hat I like. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You like that style? Yeah. If I take a note, I'm gonna just take a note. Do do do. Right. Just write out a little note. It's not gonna be anything major. Like I'm not gonna make a big scene out of it. I just asked a couple questions. You said you wanted it. You said it looked nice. I'm like, all right, cool. I already know what to get you.
Hmm.
Then I'll wait and I'm probably gonna get two or three colors, and I already got that notification. So the moment it drops, I'm buying that Kango hat that we seen in March. I'm buying that in May.
Hmm.
And I'm probably gonna give it to you in June because I'm not really big on hanging on for Christmas for like this celebration, the celebration of passing out gifts. I'm more into I got a whole year to celebrate you. So that's the name of the game that I'm in. So
Okay.
Christmas, we're typically either singing carols or passing out or trying to help out other people. We're just visiting. We don't really we do gifts, But for somebody in which I'm looking to buy something for, it's typically going to be more geared to them. It's more geared to them getting something throughout the year than just at Christmas.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, I see Elder Perry say he's focused but not finished, trying to help my friend on. I told her Rise and Thrive. Yeah, Rise and Thrive TV, I believe it is. Um, um, um,
Yeah.
Mr. Brumfield, could you put a link in the chat what he can give to his friend and she can just click on?
Yeah.
There you go, Elder. Just have her click, copy that link and send it to her. And that'll take her right there. Good evening, Tiffany. I pray you're doing good. Happy late or Thanksgiving. James said it's Thanksgiving for 3 days. So instead of me saying
Yeah.
belated Thanksgiving, we just say Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're talking about having that six-figure mindset, and so we're talking about managing, especially during this particular time, as we look at get into this holiday spirit and the spending and the day of being Black Friday, and then you got your Cyber Monday, and then you're going to have probably a host of other different types of sales and things to lure you into the stores, and you got your list of people that you're loving on. I think that what you said as far as celebrating people all year, that's a good thing, to be able to do that, especially if you the people that's in your life kind of know that's how you roll, so they don't necessarily be looking for anything. Um, Elder says she made it on. Cynthia, how you doing, my sister? Thank you, and welcome to Rise and Thrive, where we are rising out of our financial slumps and thriving in financial freedom. We're talking about saving money. We're talking about tonight managing our money and not allowing the holiday to what do they have? What kind of regret do they have after you spend some remorse? What is buyer's remorse?
Buyer's remorse. Yeah.
So we don't want you to have buyer remorse where you unbought something and then now, although they have a big return thing going, I don't know if it's still like it used to be, but
Oh wow.
they used to be able to, pretty much return anything during that time, during the holiday spirit time. Yeah.
I did not know they had a big. I know they had It's called the gift receipt. So you buy a gift, you give it to somebody. You also give them the gift receipt along with it. Once
Okay.
you give that person a gift receipt, that person has the ability to take it back as long as they don't open it up. So
Okay.
those things are out there for people. But
Mm-hmm.
remember, if we're buying something, we're sending our money in that direction. And I'm real big for assignment. So I'm not going. My intent is not to give a person a gift that they don't really want.
Okay.
So I have a I have a I want to say it's a better idea if you don't know what somebody wants. Don't buy them a toaster if you know they got a house and they got a bunch of toasters.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather you give them a gift card for Walmart, or give them a gift card for Target, or give them a gift card for Amazon, or give them a Visa gift card where they can just exchange it for money. Uh, because those are more usable to what they want to use it for.
Okay.
Too often we just buy something because we just like, oh, that look cute. I'm gonna give it to them. And the
Mm-hmm.
person you're giving it to, it's not like it's personalized. It's just a trinket in which you bought it. So the
Yeah.
person may or may not. So now you're gambling with an idea versus giving them something in which they actually can utilize or something that they want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I never thought about it like that. But it reminded me of when I got married. I'm trying to think when I got married, 34 years ago. Has it been 34?
Ooh, yeah.
It's been 34. We get ready to have our 35th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm gonna have to do something big. But 34 years ago, I remember having multiple sets of plates and multiple sets of multiple toasters. As wedding gifts, we had a lot of the same gifts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, being able to, like you said, give somebody something that's usable.
Yeah.
So a gift card is something that's usable. and especially in the world that we live in now, especially with the inflation up the way it is, and the uncertainty of what the tomorrow looks like when we talk about the government and things like that. As believers, the only thing matters have not changed, and that is that God is still God. But the world does have a little anxiety when you listen at the different things that people are saying on TV about how the election went. But we have to really begin to really focus in on you know what it is that we're trying to accomplish in our lives. And that's why I think, let me just give you a couple things that we'll chop up. And so the first thing, if you're going to manage your cash and your cash flow and your income during this holiday season, set some clear goals. Sit down and write down, okay, if you're going to do a Christmas list. Sit down and take time and write out the Christmas list. If you're going to get people certain things, if you can think about what it is that they might want that they can use, go ahead and sit out and make you a list so that you're not going out and just buying at random. And then take advantage of some of the notification, like what James was talking about with Amazon and Best Buy and some of those companies that you can set up a notification for between now and Christmas, where you can attempt to get the best price on it. It's so important that when you're looking at your money, that you're assigning your money, that your money have an assignment. So when you're looking at this pot of money that you believe you're getting ready to spend, you're looking at this money and you're saying, I'm only going to spend so much money, and then taking that so much money and then dividing it up into what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And, it's probably a natural thing to go over or under. I wouldn't stress out about that, but I would definitely try to sit down and set some clear goals as to what it is that I'm going to purchase and how much money I'm going to spend during this holiday season. What are your thoughts on that, James?
Yeah, the biggest thing that everyone needs to understand is that no one has an unlimited budget. So if we are looking at everything through the lens of financial literacy, what can we afford? Because you don't want to go in debt just trying to appease some people. Even if you're trying to appease somebody you love, you don't want to be in debt, because how is that benefiting anyone? So what you want to do, you want to be able to assign money properly so you can fully appreciate the person that you love or the person that you're loving on. But you want to be able to do that in a way in which you can convey I love you without going into debt about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the biggest thing about being financially literate and being able to assign money appropriately. That now I can say I love you. I can
Mm-hmm.
demonstrate I love you, but at the same time I'm not going into debt just to do such a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, and that's important to set those goals, or sign those dollars, because when you set goals, it does several things for you. Number one, when you set goals, it provides direction. When helps you know which way to navigate. You know which way you're going. You know what you're looking for, and so you're just not all over the place. It helps you to set direction. Number two, when you set goals, as far as how you're going to spend, it can be motivating, because it can motivate you to get the best bang for your buck when you
Yeah.
know that you're only going to spend a certain amount of money. And so through either those notifications, whether it's Cyber Monday or Black Friday or whenever you're going to get the best prices on those things, then you're able to pull the trigger, versus you
Yeah.
waiting and then you miss that opportunity. And then I think one of the greatest things about setting goals is that it'll help you to focus your efforts, so that you are being intentional at what you're doing. And even though it may not seem like, you know, that's worth much in the interim, it could take a whole lot of anxiety away from people who you don't have enough to do all that you want to do. So if you're sitting down and look at what you have, and instead of going in debt to try to do what you want to do, you sit down and look at what you have and you assign that out. It can give you that direction and it can help you be motivated to look for different creative ways to, make that happen. And then finally, it will really help you to focus your efforts so that you can really achieve your goals. Because there are so many creative things that you can do during the holidays that can mean a lot to a person. And I know ain't nothing like somebody giving you a gift or giving you money, but to well, I don't know. I was gonna say for me, or you know, being able to encourage somebody. If you sit down and wrote somebody a real meaningful letter or something, to encourage them. It's different other things that you can do. Maybe take somebody out to lunch or something like that, and as a gift. But I don't know if that's too corny or well. What's your thoughts on that, James? I don't know if it's always you just have to
Wow.
buy something.
No, I don't think that's bad at all. Sometimes just giving people your time is appreciative.
Hmm.
And I think that we need to understand those things. Like, I'm on the road and I'm always on the road. And I very seldomly are maybe at home or maybe in Milwaukee where I rest. But when I am there,
Hmm.
just giving somebody my time, like 2 hours of my time, 30 minutes of my time, 1 hour of my time. Because when you are a grinder and you're on the road all the time and you're always busy, you always got all these plans, and then you can put something to a side to say, hey, you know what? You want to talk? And now you spend that 30 minutes of solid time.
Hmm.
That's more appreciative than saying, hey, I want to buy you $100 or
Yeah.
give you $100
Yeah.
because they know how valuable your time is.
Hmm.
If you're with somebody and they was like, hey, I know you like eating, I'm going to take you out to eat. Well, it's valuable because they're food eaters. So you take them to an all-you-can-eat buffet, where wherever they like to eat, whether it's Texas Day Brazil,
Hmm.
Golden Corral, Old Country Buffet, or Red Lobster. You're taking them to a place in which they can enjoy themselves. So it's not necessarily about the money; it's about the quality of time in which you're spending
Hmm.
to affirm that person. And sometimes it's just a simple, "Hey man, let's just kick it," and y'all can watch the football game again, the football game together, and y'all are just spending time because that's the most important, the most valuable, and the most shared experience. And it's not about going places; it's about what are we doing when we're there? Are we making every moment count?
Hmm.
And by making the moments count, it's not about the money anymore. It's just more about the people that you're with, the events that y'all share together, and the memories that y'all have.
Okay. All right. So manage during this time. Manage, and don't just let yourself go wild and say, "Well, I'll make it back up later." No, you need to manage. The other thing we want to talk about tonight, when we talk about the whole idea of having a six-figure mindset, is the importance of maintaining your financial discipline.
Yes. Yes.
Maintaining your financial discipline, and this is not just for the holidays. This is a lifestyle. This is a lifestyle. And so we've given you some tools. We're giving you a budget. We're giving you ways to track your spending. We talk to you about prioritizing your savings. We talk to you about investing. And so maintaining your financial discipline is important. And so one of the things I would challenge you to do between now and the end of the year is I would challenge you to educate yourself. Start reading things about financial discipline and financial management, and start developing an appetite for that. A lot of times I learned as pastoring, when I first started pastoring, I didn't have all of the skill sets that a person needed to pastor a small church without staff. a pastor who get called to a larger church who has the budget and the staffing, then that pastor is able to kind of really focus in on vision and teaching because he got staff, to deal with budgeting and finances and some of those other areas. But in a small church, when you get called to a small church, they don't tell you that, but you are that person, you know, and they expect you to do the budget and to be the counselor and the financial person and the preacher and they expect you to be all of those things. And even though hard as you may try to develop other people for that, that's a journey, and so it's important that you know as for me as a small pastor, I had to develop skills. I had to begin to learn things that was not comfortable for me. There are some things I did naturally, but there are some things that, that was just not my lane. You know what I mean? And so I had to learn how to at least go in that lane and provide some direction. And in order to do that, we already talked about renewing our mind. In order to do that, I had to renew my mind. I had to read certain things. I read things, some of those books that came out, Managing for Dummies, and, now I didn't consider myself a dummy, but
Yeah.
I needed it in a simple form. 'Cause
Yeah.
I didn't have time to take a class or something. I was on the job learning, so I needed to, read it in simple terms. I remember when I first started dealing with budgets at the church, I read children's books on budgeting and things, because I didn't know how to do that, and so I would buy children's books on budgeting and things, and that's how I learn the concept of what it is. So I'm just saying that a lot of times you have to expand your knowledge in order to be able to operate the way that you want to operate, and being disciplined in your finances. You need to increase your financial literacy, because when you increase your financial literacy, you're able to do more with little than most people can do with a lot. What's your thoughts, Jay?
Because that's exactly what discipline is.
Mhm.
When a person becomes more disciplined, it's like shaving the fat off. So now I'm not wasting 15, 30 minutes getting ready for an event. I'm already ready for the event because I stayed ready for the event. Instead of me practicing on how to shoot a shot during game time, I've already practiced how to shoot that shot 1,000 times. It's
Mhm.
like when they talk about how good is Steph Curry. Well, Steph Curry shoots 500 shots before he even shoots in the game.
Yeah.
So, so when he's shooting, his shooting percentage is a lot higher than what people think it is because he's already shot 500 or made 500 shots before he hit the game floor. When you take that into being financially understandable or financially literate, remember these are stuff you're doing before you get the money, during the time that you have the money, and when the money is leaving your hands because you assigned it. If you're doing the same discipline day in and day out, that becomes your way of thinking. Now, the same is true if you're bad with it. If money comes in your hand and impulsively you buy a bunch of stuff, and impulsively you're looking for stuff, now you got the payday loans, and now you got these quick access cash handlers who charge you a lot of money because you're frivolous with your money.
Mhm.
The moment you start or you make the mental adjustment to start assigning your money, you're automatically are start cutting the fat off. So by doing that, you can spend less time trying to weed out the bad stuff, and you can just do what you're doing normally. And then once you get the rhythm down pat, and that's the benefit. Once you get the rhythm, everything else start flowing easily from that because that's what we do. We set our mind up to do something, and once your mind makes that the habit or makes that the routine, you don't have to try as hard. It's just the way in which we operate.
All right. All right. Well, listen. We're talking about uh, maintaining financial discipline on our Financial Friday, and I see Pastor Monica Haskell is on with us tonight. Thank you, Pastor Monica, for tuning in. Pastor Monica and Apostle Haskell is going to be with us on next week, Tuesday and Thursday, as they with the Bible tour, I called it, where Apostle has gotten a word from the Lord. We talked about that earlier, that 2025 is going to be a year of revival. And so I thank God for them, and she's tuned in with us tonight. And she's definitely somebody we need to try to get on one of these times, because she's one of the most creative persons that I know. And so maintaining financial discipline is important. It's important for several reasons. Because when you say, okay, why do I need to do that, Pastor? Well, just like what James just talked about with Steph Curry doing his, practicing his shot, he don't have to get ready; he's already ready. And so when you increase your financial literacy, it helps you capitalize on your income. You're able to, really be able to get the most for it. Not only that, but it helps you to build wealth. That's how you begin your journey towards your six figure. With it starts in your mindset. It starts with how you view money, how you see it, and not only does it help you to capitalize on your income and build wealth, but it also gives you that financial stability that we talked about early on. And so it's so important that we invest in a continual learner. I like to look at myself as a lifelong learner, you know. And so, in today's world, you have to be kind of savvy in more than one area. You know what I mean? You have to be able to multitask. We talked about how the Bible talks about those multiple streams of income. And so you have to be able to manage your time in such a way that you're able to get more for your time. Um,
Yeah. But
Tuesday and Wednesday, um, I said that the revival was Tuesday and Thursday. Oh, it's Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday and Wednesday.
yeah.
And yeah, I'll let me send her a flyer. All right. And so we're talking about the whole idea of being able to be a lifelong learner, a continual learner.
Yeah. So
Um,
that's
go ahead.
so that's one big thing in which I'm always pushing whenever someone asks me questions of how do you make six figures? And I'm really big on your mindset. But for a lot of us, we don't have the right teacher or we don't know the right person to talk to help us with that mindset.
Mhm.
And that's why I'm always prescribing books to people who said, hey, how did you get to where you are? Well, I did have a good mentor, but I read a lot. I'm an avid reader. And
Mhm.
we went over books previously in previous sections. So if you look at the Financial Fridays previous to this, you will see that there's a bunch of books out there that I am continuously reading. And even when you get there, you want to make sure that you're reading ever more because you want to make sure that you're producing in the areas in which you are growing in. So if you're a person and you want to know how to communicate and talk to people, then you want to read a book that's gearing your mind towards being more empathetic or sympathetic and to be able to communicate your ideas a lot more effectively. If you're looking for how do I sell something, then the idea of selling isn't to try to win somebody over. The idea of selling is to show the benefit of what you have. So if you can show how what you have affects that person's life, then you don't have to sell them. They're buying something that is an addition to their life. And those are the things that being properly educated can do.
Mhm.
So besides all the materials you can get from college, there's also a lot of resources you can get from just reading a book to put yourself in the best process. And I
Yeah.
mean mental process of taking information, downloading information, exercising that information, and then put into applicable purposes so you can be the best person you could be when everyone sees you.
Yeah, yeah, that's important. And you know what that really speaks to, um, because when you talk about enhancing your skills and helping you to be more competitive when it comes to higher income opportunities, what you're really speaking of is developing a strong work ethic, developing a strong ethic, and in doing that, being able, to be the sharpest tool in the toolbox. Do that make sense? Or
Yeah.
is that too old of a saying?
But sometimes you got to be. Oh, there we go.
Because
Bible.
there's the flyer right there.
Yeah, yeah, I see it. I see it.
It kept telling me I was doing the wrong date. So I said, put the flyer up there. So it's the Milwaukee Revival of Faith. That's going to be the 3rd and the 4th of December, 7 o'clock nightly at Jericho Church Without Walls, 8086 North 76th Street. And it's going to be incredible. I remember I was talking to Apostle Haskell, and he brought up the last time he was at Jericho was the Lord had told him to come, and we had talked about how powerful that meeting was, and so we're looking for that same thing to happen on this one that's coming up on December 3rd and 4th at 7 o'clock, and so you don't want to miss it. Stop by. So we're talking about developing a strong work ethic, where you're able to begin to cultivate qualities, that you need in order to be able to capitalize on those income opportunities. And so when we talk about uh, developing a strong work ethic, we're not talking about running around doing a whole bunch of things, being busy. There's a difference between being busy and being productive, you know. And so a lot of times, if we're not careful, you'll get too many irons in the fire and you're running from one thing to the next thing. And so you're busy, but you're not productive. And so you have to be able to develop a strong work ethic so that you can begin where you are, starting at start, and developing whatever that particular income source is to a place that is beginning to produce, and then, there are some that's able to multitask. And so I'm not saying that you have to focus just on one thing, but I am saying being busy is not the answer. All right. What's your
Yeah.
thoughts, James?
That's the biggest fallacy that people fall into is when people try to do or they think they're doing what I'm doing, or they think they're doing what it takes to be productive. So they say, "Well, I'm doing 20 things in a single day." Well, that's nice, but are you accomplishing 20 things in a single day?
Mhm.
Well, I got a bunch of stuff I got assigned. Yeah, but are you productive in achieving those things you have been assigned? One thing in which I try to tell everybody is, if you do it, start small. Sign out 3 things, 3 tasks, and do those 3 tasks. And
Mhm.
then those things that you do as a routine, they don't count as a task. They're because you do them every day. You don't
Mhm.
gotta give yourself a task to brush your teeth. That is something that you need to be doing every day. That's not a task. But a task is things that will push the needle forward in what you have accomplishing in your life. So if you can do those things consistently, then you're doing 5 things that you can do consistently. Now you're up to
Mhm.
10 things that you're doing consistently. And that's how people start moving the needle on saying, now I'm accomplishing my goal. Now I
Mhm.
hit 6 figures passive. Now I hit
Right.
6 figures active. And
Right.
that's what we need to fully understand of how do I hit that marker, because busy work does make you sweat and it does make you exhausted, but if it's not pushing you to your goals, then it's like eating a bunch of sugar and thinking that you're getting stronger. No,
Mhm.
you just get a lot of energy, but it's not necessarily helping you get to where you actually want to be.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, one of the main reasons why you have to be careful about being busy versus being productive, especially in the world we live today when, we have so many unhealthy things that that we are exposed to and that we partake in, whether it's fast foods or different things, and less, things that we really focus on when it comes to our health. Being busy can be a enemy to your health and well-being,
Yeah.
you know. And so it's important that you have that balance, that you're giving your brain the best possible chance to give you the information that you need in a way that you can be able to move forward by making sure that you're feeding yourself the right things, that you're getting the right amount of sleep, that you're doing some type of exercise, even if it's just, going for a walk or something. But you're not just running around like a chicken with your head cut off. And, like James said, you're eating a bunch of sugar, but you're not as stronger. You just got a bunch of energy in that moment. But what James didn't say is when you on a sugar high, that crash can be deadly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That crash can be. Elder said that Empowerment Realty Group is on, and so we thank you there. Pastor Monica said that's a hamster wheel, and so when you talk about the hamster wheel, when you look at that hamster, that's that whole idea of being um, uh, complacent or being content. That hamster wheel can make you complacent. He's satisfied. Both of them give you a certain satisfaction, whether you're complacent or whether you're content. Being content doesn't mean that I'm settling for where I am. It's saying that I'm comfortable right now at where I am to the degree that I'm not stressing on it, but I am working towards where I want to go. Where complacency says, you know what, I'm just good where I am. So the hamster on the wheel is complacent in the fact that he's just going round and round. That's his day. It's just round and around. He ain't getting outside of that cage or that that's got him in. And if you're not careful in that same sense, we'll find ourselves every day going round and around and around and around. And before you know it, your health and your well-being is beginning to be affected by that. And so health and well-being is important. The big reason I think is because it helps manage stress, because people stress about different things. I don't identify stress a lot in my life, but I know I have a lot of stressors, when you're dealing with certain things or whatever. But my perspective, is I don't get caught up in it to the degree. But if you allow stress to overwhelm you, it messes with your mindfulness, and then your ability to produce now, because you can easily get caught up in that, that poor me thing, you know. You know what I mean? I'm just
Yeah.
a bill, Capitol Hill. You know what I mean? Just you just going through. A lot of times you look at other people and you look at their success, but you don't look at their work ethic. And even though it may look like it come easy to them, in the words of James Jones, they're grinding. You know,
Man.
they're grinding. You just don't see their grind, but
Yeah.
they're grinding. They're taking time. Where you probably is watching TV or something like that. They're writing books or they're doing what they're doing. Or reading something in order to be able to get ahead. Because the whole idea of the hamster wheel, eventually, what it's going to ultimately do is going to burn you out.
Yeah.
And so you want to be careful about that. So we're talking about maintaining your financial discipline. If you're going to have a six-figure mindset, then you will have to maintain your financial discipline. And so we said it's going to be important that you invest in your learning. That you be a lifelong learner, that you develop a strong work ethic, because understanding the difference between production and busyness, and then the last thing we'll talk about when it comes to developing a strong work ethic is cultivating resilience and adaptability. And I like those
That's
words.
a good one. I
Those are
like that one.
those be good words for you, Sergeant James
Yeah.
Jones. Let's talk about it when we talk about cultivating resilience
Resilient
and adaptability.
and adaptability. So, um, so let's take the hamster wheel, right? A lot of people are on the hamster wheel, whether you know it or not. A lot of us, I was on the hamster wheel too. I knew what I wanted, I just didn't know how to get there. So I got on the wheel and I ran and I ran and I ran and I ran. It's not until my eyes was open that I wasn't going anywhere, and that I was very resilient, that I wanted to change. I just didn't know how to change. And then adaptability kicked in when I allowed someone to speak life into my existence. And they just said, "Hey man, have you thought about this?" And I had to look up and see where was I then, and was I further ahead with all that resilience. So once I adapted to a new mindset, I was able to still be resilient, but now I'm a lot further on to where I was going towards my vision.
Mhm.
So I'm not knocking anybody who's on the hamster wheel. And if you see a brother or sister on the hamster wheel, I'm not saying to joke, to make fun of. I'm saying just give them an option. Do you want the blue pill to get back on the hamster wheel, and you just be on the hamster wheel? You'll wake up tomorrow when nothing ever changed, or do you take the red pill? But it's the truth.
Mhm.
It may not feel good at all the times, but it's the truth.
Mhm.
I was fortunate enough that I took the red pill, and the truth is, what I was doing wasn't getting me to where I wanted to go. The truth is, I was making money, but I was also spending and losing most of my money that I was making. So at the end of the day, where was I 5 years from where I thought I should be? And it was nowhere. So I had to take that red pill of truth and
Mhm.
say, I'm not where I want to be, and I'm not in the projection that I want to be. So I took that red pill, I humbled myself, and I started studying first to get to where I need to go.
Mhm.
And then as I studied, ironically, right, where my eyes are, where my vision is, where my thoughts are, where my mind is, everything started lining up to what I can see in my vision. So
Mhm.
then it was the work. So because then it was the understanding. And then with understanding and work, then you got wisdom, then you got the understanding, work, wisdom, then you got the application. And slowly but surely, I started moving in that direction. But what people don't know is when you're fully moving in that direction, you move a lot faster in that direction than you did the day you started.
Yeah. Well, listen, we're just about out of time.
Yeah.
When when we talk about this whole idea of cultivating resilience and adaptability, we're talking about the ability to cope with setbacks. You have to be able to cope with setbacks. Resilience is like a rubber ball being able to bounce back off the wall. When you get slammed against the wall, being able to bounce back and being able to adapt. When you talk about adaptability, being able to adapt to changing circumstances, because things, you start out one way, but then because life be life, and you may have to make some adjustments in adapting to the way things are going and the way things are, and you do that through you have to practice problem solving, not running from them, but practicing uh, problem solving and critical thinking, and that's important. Listen, we got less than 2 minutes. And so, listen, thank you again for tuning in to another Financial Friday. We pray that you will take something away from this, especially during this holiday season where you're not spending all of your money frivolously, but you're managing, and not only you managing, but you are maintaining a financial discipline. And so, thank you again for tuning in. Look to see you on next week for another Financial Friday. Let's put that flyer up there again. So if you listen, if you want to experience the powerful move of God, as far as being able to get revived, um, join us on. Uh, I'm getting ready to say it again. Tuesday and Wednesday in at Jericho Church Without Walls, 886 North 76th Street, for our Milwaukee Revival of Faith with Apostle and Prophet Matthew Haskell. And so 8086 North 76th Street. James, closing remarks.
Hello, everyone, and Thanksgiving evening to all of my grinders. Y'all have a good time out there.
All right. Listen, thank you again for tuning in. God bless you.